Government recently announced that it is taking some measures to review the country's minerals and mining policy. But how should government go about this whole policy to ensure that it doesn't create a problem for players in the industry and also affect our quest to attract fresh capital into the industry? What about some who have argued that it could be a recipe for disaster if it's not handled well? Well, on PM Express Business Edition, we're looking at Ghana's Minerals and Mining Act and plans to review this document. And how should government go about this to ensure that we really attract more capital in the industry and also ensure that those players who are already in, they're not affected as well? Well, indeed, I'm grateful to have the acting Chief Executive of the Minerals Commission, Mr. Isaac Andrews Tando. I hope I got the name right this time around.
Sure.
It won't be right, or will it be right if I should again congratulate you on your new nomination as the acting Chief Executive of this commission?
Thank you. Sure.
I mean, what do you make of this nomination? I mean, some would say that it was expected, or the president thought that maybe you could step into this new position to implement this agenda, and that is why you have gotten this promotion.
Not quite how to answer that, but in every institution there is a strategic direction that every government or the institution would have to take in order to fit into the new strategic direction of that particular government. And I believe, with my experience from the industry, the government thinks that I should be the right person to actually channel this or lead this strategic movement for us to ensure that our resource benefits the country as a people.
And basically, so that's what you think. I mean, some will say that what should we be expecting from Mr. Isaac Andrews Tando in terms of what you bring to the commission? You've been here for a while. You appreciate what is happening here. You appreciate what is happening in the industry. Coming in from a private sector angle, what are you bringing on board to ensure that at least, if it's not all, majority of the players in this industry's concerns are addressed, whilst you also work in implementing government's policy and agenda for the industry?
Thanks, Wiafe. I think a lot of good things have happened at the Minerals Commission. My predecessor built a lot of good things, capacity building, infrastructure, and I believe these are fundamentals that we can stand on to drive the strategic direction of the government policy that we want to do. If you ask what I bring to the table, at least I have over 20 years of mining experience. So I've been on the other side. And implementing policies, I would know what will be beneficial to the company as well as the government. So at least I should be the guy to be able to strike balance between government policies and what actually drive productivity or efficiency for the companies on the other side. So if you ask me, I think I'm in the right position to actually advise the government on some of the things he wants to do based on the experiences and where I'm coming from.
You talked about where you're coming from, and then there's the private sector argument. I mean, you've always pushed, and I knew that you were at the other side, push for certain things to be done. How are you going to draw the balance between demand from private sector players in the industry, i.e., the overall government policy? You were at the other side. Now you are part of government. You're supposed to champion the overall government policy. How are you going to bridge this gap of the private sector concern and also the government policy when it comes to implementing government's agenda?
There is always a fine balance between the two, and that is the fine balance we need to strike. The mineral resource needs to benefit the people, and those who are also investing their money also needs to balance. We need to balance these two areas to ensure that at least not one-sided is benefiting from the resources that we have. So yes, the industry have got their push, the government has got its agenda. It is up to the regulator to strike that fine balance where we support industry as much as possible and also implement the policies of the government to ensure that we are heading towards the right direction.
Do you think that you find yourself in a very difficult position in the sense that the private sector players who see it as one of our own, but also you have to implement government policy? You find yourself in a very difficult position?
I don't think I find myself in a difficult position. And I know my colleagues in the private sector know me very well, that at least I will be fair to the system and ensure that what needs to be done is done.
Let's come to this whole mining and minerals policy review that is currently ongoing. I got the understanding during the minister's government accountability series that there has been some industry engagement, about 80% complete. How would you describe this engagement, and does it have everyone's buy-in?
Yes, and I would now put it maybe 99.9% because we are almost done.
Not 7 as Wiafe, right? That's just, by the way, that's sorry.
Yeah. So for us, in my whole career, in my whole life, this is the biggest engagement I've ever seen.
Interesting.
Where everybody is brought on board to express their views and give their thoughts about how our minerals should be managed to benefit. And I had the privilege to join some of the engagement. For instance, when we went to the northern region in Tamale, before we got there, the Regional House of Chiefs has set up a committee themselves to review the document, made their proposal before we even got there. And this tells me how important this policy is to the people of Ghana. And everywhere we went, and every institution we engaged, something unique came out. So I believe we'll be able to come up with a mining policy and also a law that addresses the concerns of the people of Ghana. Whatever we are doing is in the interest of the industry and also the people of Ghana. It shouldn't be one-sided.
You talked about the people, and it's critical because these are the host mining communities.
Yes.
What about the mining firms? What about those who are bringing in the capital as well?
Yes.
Were they engaged
Yes.
in terms of this industry engagement?
Yes, we have engaged the Chamber of Mines, which is the mother body of all the commercial mining companies in Ghana. They have requested for other further engagement, which we would give them the ear and listen to their concerns and make sure that whatever we bring on board is actually something that serves all. We have engaged the Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Miners. They are on board. We've engaged traditional authorities. Every regional house have been engaged. All the 16 regions, all of them. We've engaged CSOs, we've engaged the trade industry, we've engaged GJA, your people. Everybody that was circled within this particular had been probably engaged. So we will still do further engagement with the chamber as they have requested, and then we would ensure that at least they are listened to and their concerns are addressed, and ensure whatever we put on the table protects the industry, at the same time help the people of Ghana to also develop.
You talked about this stakeholder engagement rating about 99.9%. It means that you're almost through.
Yes.
And I was asking you about how about the mining firms. It appears that some of these mining firms are not happy with the proposals on the table, and I'll be coming into those fine details.
Sure.
And that is why I asked a question about the level of engagement, to the extent that the chamber had to hold a press conference to highlight some of these things. I've had an engagement with Gotho CEO, South Africa, and he also expressed concerns about government treading cautiously. That, do I get the sense that government is trying to bulldoze their way in this thing, especially when it comes to the mining firms who are seen as a major actor in this whole thing?
Not really. I don't think the government is trying to bulldoze. I mean, we are listening government. And that is in the first place. That's the reason why we are holding all these engagements. I mean, the government did not get up and put these reviews forward for approval. It's rather consulted. So the Chamber of Mine, which is the mother body governing or the mother association for all these mining firms. I mean, in any way, some of these people that you are mentioning, like the CEO of Goldfields, I mean, ask them what is happening in his own country in South Africa. Is it different from what we are asking for? If it's different, then you can come back and tell us some of this story. But if you are following this in where you are coming from, you are obeying it, and you are aligned with it, then how different is it from Ghana? I mean, I believe some of these guys have also taken us for granted for a very long time. And it's about time that we correct the anomalies and ensure that the resources of this country actually helps the people of this country and not just people taken away. And let me come into continue. There is stability agreement that we give to these people to develop. Newmont has one, Goldfields has one, Anglo Ashanti has one. I am telling you, last year Newmont made about 1.8 billion from Ghana, but they are not paying growth and sustainability levy because of the stability agreement. You know how much money we are losing as a country? Why? Because we've given. But we've come of age that we've supported this. Anglo has been here forever. Goldfields has been here over 30 years. Newmont, as far as my memory serves me, have been here over 20 years. So what are we saying? We've supported them enough. It's about time that we strike a balance on whatever is happening on the front of what we are doing to ensure that we as a people, we can also benefit from our mineral resources.
Then I'll be coming to the fine details of even the stability or development agreement.
Yes.
But let me focus more on the lease. I know the mining industry is not just about the mine, it's a bigger industry. But I'll be heavy here a little bit. Let's look at the lease agreement, I think from 30 years, I stand to be educated, to 15 years as well. Some have argued that this is an industry where, and you are coming from this industry, involves in a lot of capital injection, engaging the Black Rocks and the rest outside to bringing capital. If you're unable to convince these investors outside about these lease agreement and the legitimacy of it, it will be difficult to attract fresh capital. What went into this bit, which I thought it was stakeholder engagement about reviewing the development of this lease agreement from the 30 years to about 15 years, and help me first educate me on it about what is in the revised act and the rationale behind it.
So that is the proposal. And let me tell you, so we have what we call emerging trends. So we are not doing this in isolation.
It happens in other countries.
And we are not the only people doing it. And let me mention some of the countries to you and what is happening. And you tell me. And some of these countries even lent the mining law from Ghana, Burkina, Mali, Kenya. All these people took. In fact, some of these laws, when you pick them and you compare, the difference is that the law is in French. Everything was almost
lifted from
Ghana. And they are even doing better. They have revised their law to ensure that what is happening in the country, what is happening in the emerging market is what they are actually. Let me give you an example. If you look at most countries across Africa have reduced theirs between 20 to 25. When we go to Kenya, it's 25. Renewable not exceeding 50. Burkina is 20 years, renewable every 5 years. Ivory Coast is 20 years, renewable every 10 years. And then Mali is 12 years and maybe renew every 10 years. Take even the industry we have in Ghana now. With all the 60 mining companies that we have, just about 5 or 6 that have reserve that goes more than 50 years. Kadna is one. Zijin, former Newmont Achim is one. Newmont is one. Anglo Ashanti Obuasi is one. And Golden Star Resources. All the other mining companies, their reserve is under 10 years, including Almighty Goldfields Takwa Mine. So What then gives us the feeling that be issuing at 30-year lease? In any case, we realize that things are also changing very, very, very fast.
What was the rationale behind reviewing that particular bit about the lease for these mining firms? What was the concern?
It gives everybody the opportunity to come back to the table to negotiate. And let me tell you, it's not only to the side of government alone. Let's take a typical example of lithium. Atlantic Lithium came to Ghana, and lithium prices was through the roof. Yeah. We had an agreement with them. Now they've come back that, look, lithium has lost 75% of its price. It's almost a collapsed industry. The agreement you've given us is something that we cannot work with. So let us take some of the things out. So assuming lithium have locked in some 30 years with the government, do you think would it favor them with this? So it's both ways. So anytime there is changes in the market, we don't have a long term to run before we come back to it. Then so that we can all sort of, judge at the extension what is best for both parties. So it's an emerging trend. Nobody is giving that much long lease. Let me tell you, I worked in the US in the copper mine. In the US market, no company declares reserve more than 1 year. You know why?
No.
Because when you do that more than 1 year, you pay huge taxes on them. They become a liability. So pick all the mining companies, including the big Nevada complex. They would all, when they are declaring to the government, they tell the government, we have 1 year. We have 1 year. We have 1 year. So even if advanced countries have seen this to say, no, we won't do this because things keep changing. I mean, the situation can escalate or escalate so quickly. It gives both parties opportunity to negotiate better. So for 30 years, I think it's a thing of the past.
So, Mr. Tanda, if I get from you, you're going to work with 15 years.
That's 15 years, renewable.
So where does the renewable clause come in terms of, so if, for instance, a Wiafe mine in maybe Takwa has an agreement about 20 years, and now based on this, it's being revised to 15 years. What will happen? Every year I have to look at renewal of that 15-year agreement?
No, you would have to go through your 15 years. That is given. And then at the end of your 15 years, I mean, the current LI even gives the condition upon which your 30 years, you would get another renewal, or for whichever, based on the reserve or the technical works that you've done to tell us how long you can stay there for. We analyze, and then we'll be able to tell you, okay, we can give you about 5 years more, 10 years more. Even at the current 30 years, when it's gone, it is not that it is done. There are things you need to do. But in the past, I think people have taken these things for granted. That they think they can just work anyhow, do anyhow, and then put in another application and get a renewal. No, that is not the game of the day. Now we would have to go through all that you've done. Did you fulfill all the agreements, whatever we have done, and then we should be able to.
Still, I'm not a lawyer, but a little education in the legal sense as well. What happens to the people who are in the mining firms that are already holding this current 30-year agreement? How does this law come in and throw that one away?
No.
How does it?
We will respect every agreement that is in place already. However, new ones and new renewals would come under the new law. So if, I mean, what do we call it? People have agreements up to 2036. I mean, one of the leases at Takwa, I think, is up to 2036. We will respect it till it's done. And then we can come back at the renewal to negotiate, because the law gives us the room to renegotiate based on what has happened and the emerging trends and what is beneficial for both parties.
See, when I come back, I'll be looking at the development agreement, or the stability agreement, some will call it.
Yeah.
And also whether government is mindful about the investor response, because some are saying that we are competing with other markets to attract capital. This is PM Express Business Edition as we engage the Acting Chief Executive of the Minerals Commission on government's plan to actually review the Minerals and Mining Act and what could be the implications on the entire economy and what also would be when it comes to the existing firms in the industry. This is PM Express Business Edition. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back to PM Express Business Edition as we throw the light on Ghana's Minerals and Mining Act and government plans to actually review it, or government almost reviewing this policy because the CEO tells me they're about 99% complete. But how are we doing this thing to ensure that we do not suffer as a country? Mr. Tando, there are fears that if we do not tread cautiously with this, it could affect our efforts to attract fresh capital into the industry. How do you respond to that?
I beg to disagree. I mean, if you take what we are trying to do versus what is happening elsewhere, like Côte d'Ivoire. I mean, last year, Côte d'Ivoire got most of the exploration expenditure around the world. What we are trying to do is not different from what is happening in Côte d'Ivoire. And whatever we are introducing in is not something different from the emerging trends. I mean, as a people, laws change. We will evolve as a human being. I'm not sure what was happening when you started at Joy FM is what is happening today. Your conditions have changed. Your remunerations have changed. Joy FM as a company have even improved from that one building in the Kokomlemle to now a multi-building all across the country. So do we stay the same? No, as a country, because of certain fear people are expressing. The investor community knows that whatever we are trying to do is free and fair. Ghana is open for business. We will support as we speak.
Have you tested their poll? Because when I engage some of the CEOs,
we are speaking.
They have fears that, listen, we go out on the market to raise money. If this thing is not handled cautiously, our quest to attract those huge funding to reinvest will be a major challenge. Those are the fears of some of these CEOs.
I think these are the sayings in the past. These are not the issues now. I mean, we keep talking about investors running away, but we have more investors coming in. New Core is a new mine, yes? New Core is a new mine coming in the Enche area.
They are bringing in the required capital?
They are bringing the required capital.
Or they are not fronting for any?
No, they will be producing over 170,000 ounces annually. For the first 8 to 9 years, they have potential to, because they will be doing heap leach processing. And then as the ore changes, they will be building. So they have a long life around. Yesterday, I can show you a complimentary card. Another mine in Konongo that has a prospecting license, all of a sudden has big capital that they want to invest. ZG just came on board. We have a lot of mines that want to come on. So I disagree. And anybody who will pick the law to read, there is nothing chasing investors away. These are sayings people say to just scare, I don't know, the government whatsoever. But we've come of age. There is information. I mean, there are a whole lot. Some of these companies, where they are coming from,
it's already happening.
It's already happening. They know
this would actually affect
it's even way better
fresh
here.
Capital into the industry.
I am telling you, I am telling you, nothing is going to change. We are rather going to attract more investors because there is some reason in whatever. They know that the government doesn't get up to do certain things. You understand? So I disagree.
If I get from you there are already 4 firms or 4 entities or 4 investors that are coming in.
That should
happen before the close of this year, if I get from you.
Not close of this year, but there is a lot of work and they are speeding up to bring the mine.
About 5 or 10 of them or something.
Not 5 or 10. We have a lot of exploration that have increased their activities to try and put the mine from the prospecting stage into the production stage. But new core is very close. In about 2 years, we should have a new mine. That is, call it 2027, 2028. We should be able to have a new mine in Ghana. So all this should tell us that, I mean, it's not wholly true what people are trying to claim will be scaring investors. Because wherever they are coming from, the laws are not too different from what we are doing. And even our neighboring countries, I mean, Ivory Coast, Mali, Burkina, they are getting investors. And whatever we are trying to do is not different from
I sought earlier to try and get the understanding about the rationale behind this. Was it one of those arguments by government that you wanted Ghanaians to own a commanding height in the industry? That is why it's driving this agenda?
No.
Or what? Because then some will say that if it's that, then Ghanaians are already in the industry.
No, it's a combination. So one is the emerging trends. What is happening?
Everyone is doing it, so we
what is happening around us.
Yeah.
Number 2 is the government direction, the government policy, where we want to go. Number 3, the problems we have encountered with the mining and the mineral law and policy we have already. And I'll give you a typical example. We have gold price sitting 3,500 this year. Last year, Nemo made about 1.8 billion. We lost growth and sustainability levy because they have a development agreement. Should we continue that a company comes to your country and makes 1.8 and you are not getting certain small taxes that you are even supposed to get to develop your country because they have growth and sustainability? You've helped the company to develop. You helped the company to grow. You've got the company to mature. It is about time that we sit on the table. I mean, when your agreement, and let me tell you, if you've been given a lease and the lease is gone, if you go into the numbers, he's made his money, he's made profit, he's done everything. He's not losing. So if he wants to continue, then the terms should be better and favor both parties. I mean, gone are the days when we will talk of capital, technology. Now, almost everywhere. And I'm telling you, even people who learned from Ghana are doing better in terms of managing their resources than us. So why do we sit back to always point fingers towards capital, investor confidence? They are already confident, and that is why they keep coming. You can go and check from the immigration service how many investors are trooping into Ghana on daily basis for opportunities.
For the mining sector.
Exactly. Ghana is the land of opportunity in terms of mining.
What is going to happen, again, from the minister's engagement, even with the press as well, about the development or stability agreement that ensures that for that mining firm, for the next 10 years, there's a fixed rate when it comes to taxes and all those things. In terms of scrapping or moving the stability agreement, the development agreement away, what is going to happen to the current mining firms who already have stability agreement?
Though we will respect it to run its course. Agreement is an agreement. We will respect it to run its course. But once it expires, I mean,
there wouldn't be any development agreement again.
I mean, when was the last time there was anything? I mean, economic disturbance whatsoever in this country. We've been stable.
But see, someone will tell you that the way the economy is structured, one blip with oil, one blip with the city stability, and we know what will happen.
Oh,
So see, we are not assured of stability or economic stability or even continued more than 5 years.
I am disappointed in that because I think Ghana as a country, we've done very well.
We made progress, CEO, yes, but
so much
there are
progress.
still some blips.
No, every country has blips. I mean, America has got blips. Russia has got issues. I mean, everybody has issues. Everyone has issues. So, not on the basis of that, for you to make your laws such that you can't even benefit from your own resources. For that, I disagree. And I'll keep going back to the fact that other African countries, Kenya, Burkina, Mali, Ivory Coast, Uganda, all these guys learned from Ghana. Yet they have been able to refine their laws to date. So what is keeping us? All in the name of investor confidence whatsoever. The investors are already confident.
In the economy, yeah.
And I can tell you, we will pull data, how many companies are applying for prospecting license in Ghana today. I can put a number for you.
Do you think that taxes is fair to rely on the taxes argument alone? Because some will say these mining firms are employing people, they're employing Ghanaians, they are reinvesting, they are bringing in the inflows and all the rest to do all those things. And if you weigh that with just having a fixed tax regime for a mining firm that is investing huge into this economy, is it right to look at the fact that, oh, we could have gotten more, so let's do away with this development agreement?
Do you know the percentage of people mining is employing compared with the working population in Ghana?
I don't know. I'll see you. Maybe you help me see.
I also don't know, but I can tell you for a fact that yes, they do employ to some amount of level, but there is so much gap in there that we will need to develop as a country to ensure that that gap is bridged. So we can't only be basing our argument on selected numbers, selected figures, selected to say this. What is good for us as our country? You will be amazed. I wish you had joined us in some of the stakeholder engagement. The chiefs, I mean, these are learned. I was so impressed with Tamale. These are learned people, and they come and say, you want to give somebody 9 years for prospecting license? No. Why 9 years? You are just allowing the people not to be able to work. Currently, what we have in our country has no limit. The guy can continue to renew the prospecting. People have been holding prospecting licenses for 40 years. And we say we shouldn't control it. When people who learn from us are cutting their prospecting lines to, they give you your first 3 years, your next 3 years, next 2, you are out. Your next 3, your next 3, your next 3, you are out. That would force companies to spend and do the exploration and push the industry forward. But what we have now, we have so many people holding prospecting license over 30 years, over 40 years. It's almost in perpetuity. People have prospecting license before I was born, and they are still holding prospecting license. Are they doing us good or bad? So we need to fix all these things, put a cutoff point. If we've given you the license, we are proposing 9, 333.
Yeah.
You know what
when it comes to the perspective.
Yeah, you know what the chiefs are telling us? Cut it to 7. And it's not only the chiefs. A lot of stakeholders. They say, why not 7? If the guy wants to do the job, within 7 years, he should be able to drill and give us some data and tell us what is in the land. If we had done that, trust me, we would have had a lot of data sitting with geological survey today that we can confidently say that, okay, we have this data, this is where we want to move that project to the next level of the project and be able to even negotiate better when these companies are coming in new. So, my brother, we need to do a lot. And I'm saying, what saddens me is those who learned from us are doing better than us. How can this be?
See, all other things being equal, the economists will say now that you have boast about 99.9% of this stakeholder engagement. When are we hoping that all other things being equal, this amended act or policy could find its way to Parliament and the President would give his assent to this for it to become law?
So it's quite some process. The stakeholder engagement is not the only thing that needs to be done. Once that is completed, we need to put all the reviews and the recommendations received by all these stakeholders together and then send everything to the Parliamentary Select Committee. Now, they would also go through, tell us what they think, what needs to be changed before we can send the document to AG. When the document goes to AG and they put it into a legal language whatsoever, it has to come back to us again, because maybe putting in a certain legal language didn't end up in the meaning we wanted it to be. So they will bring it back for us to say, whatever you wanted to say after putting the whole thing into a legal language, is still saying what you are trying to say. Once that is done, before minister goes to present at cabinet for cabinet approval, before Parliament, and then it becomes law. So there is quite some amount of work still to be done. So even all that we have done, with all the recommendations, Parliamentary Select Committee have got a lot to do as well. There is a whole lot. I mean, we've had some engagement with them. In fact, we engage them on this as well, even though the document is going to go there. We wanted to know their minds, so we did engage them. So we know some of the position they have, which is not almost the same as what we are trying to put. But in all fairness, we put everybody's recommendations together. Because every group we've met, you have 2 weeks to present your recommendations and what you think to the commission. We will put every recommendation together and then submit our final work to the Parliamentary Select Committee. So once they are done, before AG, before back to Minerals Commission, the minister takes it up with cabinet before Parliament. So it's quite.
It looks like it may not happen this year. If I'm trying to
we are committed to make it happen this year, depending on how the other government institutional machinery.
How hard are you going to work to rally everybody on board? I know the pain sometimes even getting Parliament to consider something, or the difficulty in getting Parliament to consider something. Holding all these variables constant. Some will say you have a Herculean tax ahead, whilst you also try to make sure that some investors do not rush in quickly before the law is materialized, so that then what you wanted to do again would be a challenge. I mean,
so to give all credit, I think most institutions believe in what we are doing and are committed to. So I think from where I sit, the machinery are just waiting to move. And any investor rushing in, you will still have to go through those people, those processes. So knowing what we want to do, I don't think anybody will be in a rush to try and issue a 30-year lease or 40-year lease before this is done.
Mr. Tanda, I get your assurance that also the concerns of the Chamber of Mines would be addressed before this document finally taken to Parliament.
I mean, we work, Chamber and MENCOM are like siblings from the same mother. I mean, we will fight, we would make our points known, but we only disagree to agree. Eventually, whatever the Chamber wants for the industry, to a large extent or by extension, is for the people of Ghana. So they are not working in isolation. And whatever we want for the government is also for the people of Ghana. We only need to meet at a point where the mineral resources of the country benefit Ghana as number one, and then the investor.
Are you hopeful that will be achieved? Because the concern often has been that as a country, we are not getting more from this mineral wealth.
Yeah.
Do you think that this review will be the one that will finally deal with that challenge so that the next 10 years, another administration, whatever, will come and say that, oh, we are not getting more from mining, let's review the Mining Act again?
I mean, like I said, things changes, and I believe with what we are facing, this will help us address majority of the problems. Yes, we are people. Things will continue to change. I mean, we can change this, and the next 5 years, something else happened due to different conditions. We may have to review some things downward. We are people. We are human beings. I mean, that is the beauty of life, that we are able to adapt and make changes to ensure that whatever is going on helps everybody. But yes, first we want to protect Ghana, and also we want to support the investor. We need to strike a balance that these two parties are happy.
CEO, forgive me of my ignorance in terms of having gone through this document thoroughly.
Yeah.
How would this review address the problem of indigents in the mining communities and ensure that Ghanaians also benefit from, in terms of the work bit and then the involvement? So I know in certain areas there are some agreement that says that, you know, in terms of employment, a certain percentage should go to the indigents and all the rest.
Yeah.
How are we addressing that knowledge transfer and ensuring that the card will always be played that, oh, they went to Kwesimintim or Mantima Kebi, we couldn't find a mining engineer within that town, so we had to bring someone from Accra or bring someone from Australia?
Sure. I think as a country we've grown, we've developed. I mean, before I went to School of Mines, I only knew one female mining engineer, the first female mining engineer, Victoria Bleponi, in the industry. Today, there are thousands of mining engineers, female mining engineers. There are a lot more being trained. So in terms of resource capacity, travel around the mines in Ghana, almost everywhere is being managed by Ghanaians. So in terms of human capacity or resource capacity,
it's not a problem.
It's not a problem. Now, number two, if you look at some of these mining companies, they do what they call corporate social responsibility. They look at what they are doing and they said, okay, let me build one school for this and let me build ABCD. Some companies are doing very well, but we want to make it a law, like it is in Chile, like it is in Peru, like it is in South Africa, that before you sign your your lease, there is what we call community development agreement. That is measurable. That is placed as part of your lease. So, for instance, if we are taking a certain percentage for this community development agreement, it's not equal to voluntary, what you voluntarily want to do.
It will be legislated or
legislated, and that is what is happening in Peru. That is what is happening in Chile.
Percentage of profits or
percentage of profit
should go to develop.
So assuming if we had 1%, call it, for community development agreement with Newman, and we stated all the projects that we want to do, you understand? Then we are talking about 1.8 billion, 1% for this development. Let's pick all the developments that they've done and compare it with that percentage. And let me tell you, some of these jobs, when they do them, they want tax breaks. So it's not for free. So they do them and in the end, find a way to come into the tax system as well. But when it is a law, when it is part of your lease, as a Tando mining company, you've been given a lease at cantonment, this by the time you finish, you put up a hospital of this value, put up a school of this value, put up of that of this value. It's measurable. Every year, Nincon can come to say, okay, let's see where you sit with your community development agreement. It's not something that you want to do. It's a law.
How is the Chile experience? Because there are some who are also of the school of thought that, CEO, I pay taxes to the state, I pay royalties to the state. Therefore, the state should make sure that when they are allocating those funds, an area in Takwa, or maybe if it's Kesimintim or Mantimankebi, do benefit from that taxes that I'm paying to the state.
Everybody is paying taxes to the state.
George Wiafe down to a percentage of my profit for developing the host community. Some will say it's not fair, CEO.
No, it is fair. It is happening elsewhere and it hasn't caused any problem. It's fair. And and surprisingly, most of these companies in Ghana are operating in these countries. And they are complying. So how different is it in Ghana? Is it because we've been lenient all these years? They are complying. Go to Chile. Go forces in Chile. Go forces in Peru. They are complying. So how different is it in Ghana?
How would this review deal with soaring prices of the commodity or the precious metal, and i.e. the revenue share and all those things? We've seen gold price hit record level as well. How would this review tackle that, where the price also tanks? And I know that you've done a wide engagement, and how is it going to deal with a soaring price of gold?
So whatever we are doing is tied to percentages. So if it's up, you are up. If it's down, we are all down. It's up and your loss is you are down, so you keep it there. It is, I mean, that's how
so it's a percentage of...
Yeah, so when we are going up, so for instance, I mean, we would be benefiting, if not stability agreement for these big mines. We would have had a lot of money because of where gold prices. And all this could have come in to support the big push agenda of the government to ensure infrastructure development. So, I mean, it's such that we grow together, we stay together, or we all suffer together. It's as simple as that.
I know that this is the plan, but CEO, what is happening right now? I know that gold prices have hit record levels. In terms of now, what is the Commission trying to do to ensure that we benefit from the soaring gold prices as we speak right now?
So for now, you can't do much because most of the agreements we've been tied to some of these agreements. You can't do much now. Yes.
Nothing can be done now.
Yes, certain benefits would, because especially the royalty is a scale, 3% to 5%. Because of the soaring gold prices, you would move straight to the highest point of the the royalty percentage. But in terms of major, I mean, we wouldn't see. Yeah, your taxes will go up, whatever. That is why we are saying certain things needs to change. Like this time, we would see a bit more. I mean, we are getting something from them, but we would have seen a bit more as a country for our development. So yes, Ghana is open for business. We are happy to support people. You can speak to a lot of CEOs that I constantly have engagement with, and they can tell you that there is always that assurance that we want to support them. There are things that we don't want it to delay. There are processes that we take through and support them to make sure that the documents is in their hands for them to do their job. So that is the commitment we have. But on the other side, government policies, government agenda, government drive, the government strategic directions needs to be factored in growing the industry and ensure that Ghanaians have the fair share of this business.
See, when we come back, I'll be looking at the outlook for the sector as well. I'll also be looking at the almighty Galamsey and what is going to happen to Daman as well as we speak right now. This is PM Express Business Edition, engaging the CEO of the Minerals Commission as well, Mr. Isaac Tando, about prospects in the industry, plans to review the Minerals and Mining Act, and how is government treading cautiously to ensure that they get it right. To be right back after this break. Welcome back to PM Express Business Edition as we look at the review of Ghana's Minerals and Mining Act and how is government going about this to ensure that they get it right for the country. Chief Executive, I mean, a lot of development things have happened in this industry and the creation of the Gold Board. What is the relationship between the Minerals Commission and Gold Board as we speak right now?
An excellent one.
How excellent is this relationship?
I mean, even yesterday I was on phone with the chief executive of the Gold Board, Sami Jemfi. We're currently helping them with block-out areas to be able to drill, develop, and model those areas for small-scale miners to improve. You know about this gold traceability. So currently what Gold Board is securing funding to a tune of about 1 billion, and we'll be able to drill
Cities or dollars?
Dollars.
Okay.
We'll be able to drill certain areas in Ghana and actually enhance the cooperative mining scheme that the government has introduced. So by extension, solving majority of our illegal mining issues that we have in this country. So I would say it's an excellent one. They've requested for data, which we are working on to give them. And there is going to be a committee that is between Gold Board, Minerals Commission, and Geological Survey to carry out this job. So I would say it's an excellent one.
I asked this question because of the reforms in the industry that they are championing.
Yes.
And where do I draw the line between Minerals Commission as a regulator of the entire industry and Gold Board now and some of the things that they are doing? As a lay person outside,
Yeah.
I must confess, I am confused. That today, if there's a gold problem, do I walk to Gold Board or do I walk to Minerals Commission?
So Gold Board is basically for the small scale mining. So there were things that we were doing.
Yeah.
And revenue streams that were coming to us that has been handed over to Gold Board. Things like export license. We were issuing export license for people to be able to export gold. That has now gone under the jurisdiction of the Gold Board. We were issuing regulations and also fees for the establishment of refineries. That has also been given to Gold Board. So yes, there were certain jobs that have been taken off us and given to Gold Board, but they are not working in isolation. Like I said, on almost every issue we are interacting. And for instance, we have given them the guidelines for this refinery permitting, which they are building on. So they cannot, I mean, they can't work in isolation. And so anytime they need our help, this is something we were handling that have been broken off for, proper supervision and accountability and ensuring that we get the best from that sector of the industry. And we are heavily supporting them.
If I classify these things as food on the table, am I wrong to say that Gold Board has taken everything on the table?
No.
That you are left with nothing to eat on the plate?
No. I think it's, they've taken their fair share, their fair share, and we also have our fair share. I mean,
will that affect your revenue as well and your fees and charges that you earn as a commission to run the commission?
It did affect our revenue. However, I mean, that was the right thing to do. And we support the idea. I mean, another sector or another section is the community, the cooperative mining scheme. I mean, it's the learnings of the old community mining versus the works of NALEM, the Alternative Livelihood Program, that used to be part of MINCOM and later broke off to be an agency on its own. So we've put the two learnings together to build the responsible cooperative mining, known as the R concept or the concept for that program. So taking something out of the mother company or the mother institution and building something that has direct responsibility in ensuring that it works. I mean, sometimes it's effective in letting them stand alone than becoming one. So for us, as MENCOM, we work very well with some of these institutions that broke off from us, and to ensure that whatever we want to achieve as a government, no, we are all part of one family, and if they don't succeed, we have failed. If we don't succeed, they have failed. So we need to, where we need to collaborate, we would ensure that we will give them all the maximum support to make sure. So yes, some Minerals Commission lost some amount of revenue because of the creation of Gold Board. But we think it is better for the country because there is closer supervision in that section, generating fantastic revenue for the country. I mean, for the first time in our history, small-scale mining gold production surpassed the large-scale mining. It has never happened before.
When did that happen?
I think the month of May, but I've got the figure, all the year's figures. I mean, they are on Gold Board's platform. But for that particular, whatever came out from the large-scale mining was less than what came out from the small-scale mining. So it tells us how effective things can be sometimes when they are closely isolated and supervised in a certain manner, how it can go. So for us, for me especially in particular, I am happy with the creation of Gold Board. And it's an excellent idea, and I think it's something that is going to drive our economy.
Let's talk about the biggest elephant in the room here, Galamsey.
Yes.
There are some who are saying that it is still a problem, despite what we heard from this administration on what they would do to deal with the situation. I know MENCOM has a huge role to play in dealing with this. What have you done? What are you doing? And you think it's getting the results? Because there are people who think that our guys on the ground are also saying that it is happening like nobody's business.
Yeah. So if Galamsey is still a challenge. And if I'll borrow words from my minister, it is a marathon. The fight is a marathon, not a single race. Because there are a series of things that we've put together to address this, which we have started. The creation of NIMOS is one of them. I just spoke about Gold Board putting together funds of over $1 billion. We're working together, drilling areas and giving to artisanal miners to work. And this includes even building smaller plants. That cost the range of $3 to $5 million. And these guys in cooperative, you organize them in cooperative, you have access to their gold, you can control them environmentally, our inspectors can guide them. So I think we are moving in the direction. Yes, I know many of us wish when we took over, the next day Galamsey is gone.
Someone saying that it has taken too long, some have said.
Oh, but if we've also taken a lot of measures. If you recently, the acting minister for environment, who happens to be my substantive minister, made a move to repeal the LI 2462, which bans people mining from forestry. This is huge. If this LI is placed before Parliament and is banned, it's a big thing. Already, some of our water bodies are beginning to show improvement. People have been sending photos that, I mean...
According to what the geological department report they've sent to you? Or just based on the careful observation on the...
Some of the reports that we are getting through some of the agencies that are working with us.
Okay.
I mean, now there is some huge improvement in some of the water bodies. Some of them is still at it, but it's a program. If you look at what NIMOS is doing in consultation with Minerals Commission, there are areas we are raiding, we are working, I mean, if you look at the ban on the importation of excavators, if you are going to get a ban on mining in forest reserve, these are two big ticket actions that you've taken. The rest is the implementation. That, yes, we are getting the people out. What is the alternative for them? The alternative is the cooperative mining scheme, the flagship of the program of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama. And these are the things, so between Gold Board and Minerals Commission, these are things, and geological survey. In fact, we've drilled a lot of areas, even before the implementation of Gold Board. We started drilling a lot of areas in the Konongo areas, Bufa. We had a lot of targets that we've drilled, that we are working on to be handed over to the small-scale mining division for allocation to our artisanal miners. So we are not only saying we are stopping Galamsey. That is why we say the battle is not a single race, it's a marathon. You are stopping Galamsey and at the same time giving alternative livelihood to the people who are involved in this Galamsey. And it's a huge tax. But I think...
But don't you think it's taking too long? Because there's some who are saying that for us, it's just the political will to deal decisively with these people. And that would be the solution.
Mr. Wiafe, somebody sat there for 8 years. What happened? And we are only in for how many months now? And look at the moves that we've taken.
And these moves would ensure that come the end of this year or next year,
we will
if we not receive about half of it,
we will see huge...
We will see people not being daring to do social media posts, camera posts, and challenge government. But we are doing this thing because we have to do it.
When was the last time you saw some of these daring posts?
They are not happening here.
Exactly. So something is happening. But for me, I would want my work to speak for me. I don't want to talk about it. I want you to, we are fit to come here and tell me, our waters are clean. What happened? Rather than me telling you what I'm doing to keep the water clean. But a lot is going on. And I am happy that we're working with a president, a minister, people who are committed to fight this. And I think, look, the banning of excavators, the revocation of LI 2462, vis-a-vis the formation of NIMOS, and all the things we are doing, Gold Board, implementation of the small-scale mining, the creation of the medium-scale mining, to proper situate works, will solve most of these problems.
See, there's a school of thought that we measure results, not efforts.
Yes.
With all these good things that you've done, some are saying that the result out there is that Galamsey is happening as nobody's business. What do you tell those who make the argument?
I beg to disagree. Galamsey is happening. It is happening.
Like nobody's business.
Oh no, that is a part of the
Departure.
statement. The part of the statement I wouldn't agree.
Okay. Because your results are showing that things is declining, the water body is improving.
Some amount of results are coming in, but yes, I think
where the basis of results is the water body is improving, or
the water body is improving.
When we go to this community, we still see people there doing this activity.
Oh, I think some communities, yes, when you go, you will see we are still getting a whole lot of reports. But what I'm happy about is, once we get a report and NIMOS is deployed, some results. And I think I saw one post from one of your colleagues, Erastus. When he mentioned one of the forests that people have gone back in, and he came back to also say that he has seen some improvement that the government got in there to get those people out. So yes, that's we are saying it's a marathon, but we are picking the big pointers, and I'm sure sooner or later we'll start.
Honorable, as you try and wrap up this discussion, for you, are there any clear deadlines that by the end of this year, the reports out there, the independent assessment out there will vindicate your efforts in terms of a drastic reduction or a total halt of Galamsey?
Total halt.
Be difficult?
That's why we're saying a marathon. I mean, if all the people in the country were law-abiding citizens, we wouldn't build police stations. So you still have people who will try to break the law. But what I'm saying is there will be a massive resource, and we will continue to build on those resources for us. I'm confident, especially when some of these cooperative mining schemes starts. And big companies are helping us. Anglo has relinquished an area for us to do this cooperative mining. Precious Mining has relinquished an area. We are on the neck of Newmont to do same. We are on the neck of Goldfields to help. So we are trying to build this scheme around the large mines. So their knowledge and their standards can be transferred into this cooperative and they can support them for us. So that is why our earlier arguments that it's not that we are in hands-on with these companies. We are working very well with them. I mean, a change of policy is a change of policy. A change of law is change of law. But we are working together very well to ensure that, look, the best happens. So I'm of the view that we will see improvement.
From the Commission perspective, what is going to happen to Daman? They have just a year to hand over to government. What is the current state of engagement with Goldfields on the Daman mines, and what is going to happen to Daman mines? Yeah,
the minister put together a transition committee, which was being spearheaded by myself. I was the lead consultant of the transition committee. We've been working with Goldfields. There are a few challenges in terms of data transfer between the two parties, but we are constantly engaging to ensure that whatever we said happens. I'm glad to tell you that most of the conditions we placed on the guys are working with it. Yeah, they started mining because they were only treating stockpile prior to the issue, or they've started mining. The contractor has mobilized a lot of equipment on site and people are mining. I mean, when you get back to Daman, you can see there is a life. So if you ask me what is going to happen to Daman, I would piggyback on the minister's promise and statement that nobody will lose his job.
That's a firm assurance.
That's a firm assurance my minister has given to the people. So what it means is that we haven't taken a decision as a commission or as a government what that mine is going to be.
But you have just a few months.
It is fine because we have a lot of proposals on the table.
From
people have expressed interest
that they want to acquire the mine, right?
Yes. So we are looking at what is best for us as a people and as a country. And trust me, we would do what is best for this country, taking into cognizance our promise to the people, the workers, and the people of Daman and the people of Ghana.
So I get from you that several investors have applied to acquire the mine.
People have brought in expression of interest, but we are still, that's why the transition is doing a lot of work with Goldfields together to be able to advise the government on the direction to take, and we leave the rest with the minister.
See, some would say that because 1 year is just around the corner.
No, but we'll be working.
The government
in fact,
has a vision for what they're going to do.
My appointment into the CEO's role, I was spending time in Daman every month, minimum a week. I was in Daman, despite my heavy work schedule, especially with Galamsey and in industrial mine and industrial minerals. In fact, there are even sometimes I think we only focus on gold, Galamsey, but there are a lot more issues
in the mining
with the quarries, with sand winning and salt. I mean, Ghanaians don't look at it, but these are big ticket problems that we also need to do. Even with all this, I was still spending minimum a week in Daman to make sure that all that we put on paper that they follow. Did you read the Goldfields CEO's note on Daman that they've made 163% profit mid-year? Mid-year.
Just on Daman or the
on Daman?
I didn't get that bit. I knew about the bit about the profit from
Daman.
Yeah.
Your thing that you've been sharing.
Yeah.
The small flyer or whatever.
Yeah.
One of them, I'll send it back to you.
Yeah.
I got it from your people. So it should tell you the work the transition team is doing together with Goldfields, because we are not letting that man die, the mine die. That mine has life.
Transition will be smooth as well.
It will be smooth, and they've even come forward with all the big contracts that transition or government or mineral commission start negotiating with these people ahead of time. Power, reagents, steel balls, the mining contractor, fuel, start talking about it now, because these are huge contracts. And then so we can transition, which we have started. So it's a lot of work happening down there. It's just we are not talking. You've given the guy how much, 1 year to transition smoothly. We gave conditions in the letter, and we both agreed and signed to it, and that is exactly what we are. And I'm saying it's not without challenges. There are few challenges which, between myself and the MD in Ghana, we are constantly speaking to try and address whatever is the headway. But Daman is a viable mine. It will work.
One of the concerns that was expressed when it comes to even this Daman issue was the early engagement to ensure that the challenge that happened could have been avoided. The Takwa mines is up for review in 2027 as well.
Yeah.
What's government going to do to that mine?
I mean, we've encouraged them to come forward as early as possible for us to start the negotiation. We are committed in supporting them too. But we'll review it on case-by-case basis. I mean, this is something everybody is interested. The Parliamentary Select Committee, the mining community, I mean, Chamber is interested. Everybody is interested. But we need to start the negotiation early. And I'm glad they themselves requested that we start the negotiation early, because it's no longer business as usual where we just take the boxes and sign leases. No. We will go through your work program. So I'm sure they will put all their numbers together and everything, We all know what happened, the technicalities with the Daman application. It's not that the government didn't want to. The technicalities that failed them. So now they know what failed them on this side. Take the boxes, let's start the conversation early. But we can assure you, in all discussions, that Ghana will be considered in any negotiation that we do. That I want.
What is the relationship between MINCOM, government, and Goldfields as we speak right now?
For me, I speak to them. Minister has been there, Chief of Staff has been there, Attorney General has been there. I have been, like I said, almost every month I go to Daman. Takwa, I have been to Takwa either twice or thrice. In fact, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was at Takwa with the minister. So we go there, we talk. Just yesterday, I was speaking to the MD. And almost every other day, we are on phone call. So these are colleagues, these are friends, these are people we went to school with, grew up together with. These are people I spent.
Your work colleagues, former work colleagues.
Yes, I spent 16 years in Goldfields. Almost all my working life. I have over 20 years of mining experience. I spent 16 of that in Goldfields or at Goldfields. So it's home for me. I know almost everybody on that mine.
Don't they tell you that Mr. Tando has changed?
They know I'm doing that.
Mr. Tando is a different person
now. They know I'm doing the right thing. They've always known me. They've always known that if it's not right, I'll say it. If it's not right, I will not let you do it. And even with the Goldfields management outside South Africa knows that I wouldn't just allow you to bring anything onto the Ghanaian mine when I was there as a mine manager. That won't happen. We need to work with system. We need to work with procedures. We need to work. See, this is a very heavily regulated industry. So if you are not firm with things, then things will just run by. But I can assure you, I mean, they have our support. It's just that let's start the conversation so you know the stand of government, and then we know your stand and see where we can meet.
But finally, in all this review that we are doing with the sector, are we getting the assurance from MINCOM and the ministry that it will be a level playing field? Any Ghanaian that want to get into this space will be given the opportunity, and not for certain group of people.
Absolutely.
That is the concern out, the fear out there.
Absolutely. Everybody is speaking to me, and I'm talking to. In fact, this morning I spoke to Rabotech on a project in Prestia. I am always talking to somebody Ghanaian in mind.
Even if I don't hold a card of the NDC as
Oh,
well.
no. See, let me tell you. I mean, when MPP was in power, was EMP not working? Was the president's brother not working?
Yeah.
So what are we talking about? It's not about card, especially when it comes to resource development of a country. It's not about people.
So Tando, I appreciate your time so much. I'll be coming back when the act is finally approved by Parliament and Cabinet to see about the fine details and how you're going to implement this act to get it right. This has been PM Express Business Edition, engaging the acting chief executive of the Minerals Commission, Mr. Isaac Tando, about development in the industry. I know the debate will go on in your homes and your offices about how best can we handle this industry to ensure that Ghanaians indeed benefit from the gold and its soaring prices on the international market. My name is Wiafe. This has been PM Express Business Edition.